Harvey Milk was born in Woodmere, New York in 1930, where he attended Bayshore High School and was a football star, along with being a member in the opera. In 1951, Milk joined the Navy and became the diving instructor during the Korean War, although he opposed all war activity. Harvey moved to San Francisco in 1972 with partner Joseph Scott Smith and opened Castro Camera on Castro Street, the center of the LGBT community in San Francisco. This is where Harvey Milk became the king of Castro. His business stood as a camera store, but also a stand to anti-gay owners and businesses that would discriminate against anyone a part of the LGBT community. Milk was their advocator and established the Castro Village Association after two gay men were prevented from opening a business. This was the blueprints for LGBT communities all around the world. Milk was already a big activist in San Francisco, which caused people to encourage him to run for city supervisor in 1973. After 3 failed tries at winning this position, Milk had victory in 1977. He became the first openly gay officer and one of the first openly gay persons to be elected into office in the U.S. His victory was symbolic for him, but also for the LGBT community. He gave them hope, and not just in San Francisco, all over the world. After Milk's attempts to win city supervisor, he was known as a gay rights leader with connections to Mayor George Moscone, a supporter of Milk's platform. Harvey Milk's goals were to protect and form gay rights, but not just for gays. He advocated for women, Asians, blacks, Hispanics, and brought them together. He united a workers' union named Teamsters with their pledge to hire more gay business owners. Milk was also establishing daycare centers for working mothers, striving to converge military facilities to low-cost housing, and reform of the tax code to attract deserted and industrialized factories. He represented the elderly and pushed for strong and safe neighborhoods for everyone, and pressured the mayor's administration to improve services like library services and community policies. Milk had enemies that formed from judgment of his sexuality, and it made it hard to pass laws that would benefit his community, while people like Anita Bryant and John Briggs supported laws like Prop 6 that would fire any gay public school teacher.
Her name was Anita Bryant. She went on to become a top entertainer, then virtually vanished from sight after a bitter controversy that pitted her against the nation's gay community.
I knew that God was with me.
Anita Bryant, Miss Oklahoma.
Sometimes you have to pay a price for what you believe is right.
Singer Anita Bryant believed she was right when 13 years ago, as a Florida mother, she organized a movement to prevent homosexuals from becoming teachers in her community.
If we were going to go on a crusade across the nation and try to do away with the homosexuals.
But the locally sponsored campaign erupted into a national debate. Bryant drew attention with statements like, quote, "Gays can't reproduce, they have to recruit," end of quote. To gays everywhere, she became an overwhelming symbol of condemnation of their lifestyle, and they struck back at her in more ways than one.
Security agent, security agent.
No, let him stay.
No.
Let him stay.
Well, at least it's a fruit pie.
The Briggs Initiative by John Briggs was an agenda of hate and diminishing of homosexuals for political gain.
Allow people who practice bestiality to teach our children, and the reason we don't is because it's illegal. It is not illegal to be a homosexual in California.
And your law goes even further. It's any school employee who even supports a gay person can be fired.
Well, that's true. The gay people don't have any children of their own, and if they don't recruit our children, they'd all just die away. You know, and that's why they're also interested in becoming teachers, because they want to encourage our children to join them.
And how do you teach homosexuality? It's like French?
Well,
I was born of heterosexual parents, taught by heterosexual teachers in a fiercely heterosexual society. So why then am I homosexual?
Gay pride parades in San Francisco and LA gained new audiences as people came together to protest this Briggs initiative.
Could it be, if it could be mine, we'd all shine. Still living for today, in these last days of time.
Too far, that we've got to get back to the basic things and solve the basic problems of the nation and not start to try to pick on each other and fight on each other. And let's work together. And that's an incredible statement. I think the gay people themselves now have to join in and make this state powerful.
Just 8 years after winning the position as city supervisor and 20 days after the ban of the Briggs initiative, fellow supervisor Dan White murders Harvey Milk and Mayor George Moscone with 5 shots to the head, shoulder, and chest.
Another tragedy is upon us.
George Moscone, the mayor of San Francisco, was shot dead in his office in City Hall this morning. So was Harvey Milk, a city supervisor. Both shot, both murdered. Police arrested Dan White, a one-time city supervisor who had resigned and wanted Moscone to reappoint him, but he had not agreed to do so.
White changed his mind and wanted his job back, but Mayor Moscone was about to appoint someone else today. The president of the board.
It's my duty to make this announcement. Both Mayor Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk have been shot and killed.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
The suspect is Supervisor Dan White.
May 21st, 1979. It is known as the White Night Riot, when grief and anger turned into a furious battle on the streets of San Francisco after assassin Dan White received a sentence of voluntary manslaughter for the double murders of Mayor George Moscone.
Peaceful marches flooded the streets of San Francisco, mourning the deaths of Mayor George Moscone and City Supervisor Harvey Milk, an LGBT icon and influencer to all.
Somewhere in Des Moines or San Antonio, there's a young gay person who all of a sudden realizes that she or he is gay, knows that if the parents find out, they'll be tossed out of the house. The classmates would taunt the child, and the Anita Bryans and John Briggs are doing their bit on TV, and that child had several options. Staying in a closet, suicide, and then one day that child might open a paper and it says homosexual elected in San Francisco, and there are 2 new options. The option is to go to California, and stay in San Antonio and fight. 2 days after I was elected, I got a phone call, and the voice was quite young. It was from Altoona, Pennsylvania. And the person said, thanks. And you've got to elect gay people so that that young child and the thousands upon thousands like that child know that there's hope for a better world. There's hope for a better tomorrow. Without hope, not only gays, but those blacks and the Asians and the disabled, the seniors, the us's. The us's, without hope, the us's give up. I know that you cannot live on hope alone, but without it, life is not worth living. And you've got to give them hope. Thank you very much.